Welcome to Creativity Cooks. Today we are making cinnamon apple crisp. To make this recipe, you will need the following ingredients: 4 to 5 medium to large apples, 5 if they're medium, about 4 if they're large, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice, 1 cup of light brown sugar, 3/4 cups of old-fashioned oats, 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of butter, and a pinch of salt. If you received the Creativity Cooks Harvest 4 meal kit, your salt is packaged with your light brown sugar. Let's begin by peeling your apples. Please ask your parent or guardian for help with this step. There are so many ways that you can peel apples, and there's lots of fancy gadgets on the market that can help you peel the apples. If you have any of these at home, feel free to use them. If not, we have a couple of different tutorials that will show you how to use just a regular paring knife or another type of apple peeler to peel these apples. This particular peeler is really cool because it peels off the skin of the apple. It slices the apple on a spiral, and it also removes the core of the apple. If you use this type of machine, you still will need to use a cutting knife to cut these apples up into some small pieces, just like what we have here. For your apple crisp, you do not need to have huge chunks of apples or full apples. Another way to peel an apple is to use a paring knife. As you can see, what Janet is doing here, she's using a cutting board to help her with the apple instead of holding the apple in her hand. And she's using that board to help balance the apple so she can keep her fingers away from the blade of this paring knife. And she is just gently turning the apple around and cutting off the skin as she's moving along. As you can see, her left hand is far away from the blade, and she's keeping her finger a really safe distance away from the blade of this apple. She's also just trying to cut off the skin of the apple. You don't want to cut it too deep because once you remove the skin, we need everything else that we can get to go into this apple crisp. So try not to cut into this apple too deep when you are cutting the apple. Once the skin of your apple has been peeled, again, please use a cutting board to help cut this apple into small slices, and use the board to stabilize the apple and not in your hand. When you want to cut out the core of this apple, again, as you can see, Janet is using this cutting board and cutting downwards onto the board and not on her hand. Another really helpful trick that she does as well is she tries to cut flat surfaces on the apple so that it helps to stabilize the bottom of the apple as she's cutting it. She's going to cut out the seeds and the core with the paring knife, and then she is using, again, the board to just continually cut this apple. Right here, this is a really good example. She cut the bottom of it to give a flat surface, and then it just helps to hold the apple in place while she cuts out the seed of the apple, and that makes it a little bit easier. And another thing that she does too, Janet has such amazing knifing skills. She's really good at cutting, but you can see she's using the palm of her hand to press down on this knife, and she's not just holding it with her hand. This helps to keep your fingers away from the blade, and it helps to cut these apples up really well, and it prevents you from any injuries. But again, kids, please ask your parents or guardians for help with this step to cut these apples up into the slices and small chunks that you will need for your apple crisp. If you have peeled your apples and you have an apple slicer at home, this is a really good tool to use as well if you don't want to cut them up. See, Janet, again, she cut the bottom of the apple to give the apple a nice flat surface for stabilization. And then you basically assemble the apple slicer in the middle of the apple just like this, and you gently, with a very firm hand, push it down so it slices the apple into slices and it removes the core of the apple for you. We found, however, that this apple slicer is great, but it also works much better for this recipe if these apples are cut again into small pieces. So if you do use an apple slicer like the one that we just showed, please also ask a parent or guardian to just go back to each apple and slice each one in half to make the chunks of these apples, the slices of these apples just a little bit smaller. It will help to bake this recipe a little bit faster, and it just gives you a lot more apples for your apple crisp. So once your apples are all peeled and sliced, preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. In the baking pan that you will be using to bake your apple crisp, use the butter that you received in your kit and separate about 1 tablespoon of butter. We are going to use that butter to grease your baking pan. You can also use a paper towel to help you with this. Just take your paper towel and spread it across the bottom and to the sides of your baking pan. This will help the apple crisp not stick to it once it is finished baking. If you have not done so already, add your apples to a medium or large bowl. In the same bowl, add 2 tablespoons of white sugar, 3/4 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. If you received the Creativity Cooks meal kit, your cinnamon is actually packaged together in a 1 3/4 teaspoon kit. We only need to measure 3/4 teaspoons of the ground cinnamon for this part of the recipe. You can do so by using half a teaspoon of cinnamon and another 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and this is how you make your 3/4 teaspoons of ground cinnamon measurement. Also add 1 1/2 teaspoon of your lemon juice, which is all the contents in your cooking kit, to the apples, and use your mixing spoon to mix the apples and the rest of these ingredients together really, really well. It's a little tricky to mix apples because they're so hard and they're so chunky, but just take your spoon and just gently just turn them over and try to get the contents of the sugar and the cinnamon and the lemon juice to be touching all the apples. In a separate bowl, we are going to add a few of your other dry ingredients. So we started by adding our flour, we added the brown sugar, and we also add the oats as well as the rest of your cinnamon, which is about 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Once these ingredients are added to this bowl, again, please use your mixing spoon and mix the contents of this mixture up really well. The oats are a little tricky because they're a little bit thicker than the flour. Sometimes the brown sugar might be a little bit chunky. Just work with the mixture. Use your mixing spoon, break up any chunks that you can, and try to create a really harmonious mixture between the oats and the sugar and the flour and the cinnamon so that you have a really great mixture and everything is blended together really well. At this point, you should also have about 7 tablespoons of butter remaining. Use a butter knife and slice this butter up into some small slices. Showing you here just using my knife and I'm just slicing it. You can also go back through this butter and slice these squares up into smaller squares and smaller chunks because we are going to need to add them all to our apple crisp recipe. They're still going to be a little bit chunky, but you want them to go into your mixture as small as possible. And once my butter is mixed up, some of it's still sticking together, which is fine. I tried to cut them up into some small chunks, but I'm going to use my mixing spoon now and just continue mixing this mixture. We don't want to melt the butter at this point, so the chunks of it looks a little bit strange, but we kind of want it to be a little bit chunky. You can use your mixing spoon and further cut into this. You can break it up as much as possible. The idea with the butter is that this mixture is going to sit on top of your apples while they're baking, and as they're baking, the butter is going to melt out into your apples, and that's what's going to help to bake the apples and to soften them up as much as possible. So you do want to have your butter visible in this recipe, and you want to have it included in the mixture. But what you do not want is, you don't want all the butter to just be on one side or the other, and you don't want it to just be one large chunk of butter. You want to try to make it as small of chunks as possible. So when your apples are ready and your oat mixtures are ready and you have your baking pan pre-greased, we want to add our apples to the bottom of our baking pan. Please add all the apples that you have and just use your mixing spoon to evenly spread them across the bottom of your baking pan. Once the apples are nestled in nicely, you can now add the contents of your oats mixture on top of the apples. Now, some of this mixture is going to be a little bit chunky from your butter, some of it's going to be dry from the rest of your dry ingredients. So go ahead and pour all of it into your apple crisp, and then you can use your mixing spoon to evenly spread this across your apples. Again, remember what I said about the butter. We want the butter to be just all over this mixture. We don't want to have it in one particular area or the other. You want some of it along the sides. You want some of it along the middle. You want to have all of your apples covered, if not by the butter, then definitely by your flour and oats mixture. Some of it can go inside a little bit, but you want to spread this across as evenly as possible, and you don't want to have any of your apples remaining uncovered without this flour oats mixture in your baking pan. Once that's finished, you can go ahead now and put your baking pan with your apple crisp inside the oven. You're going to bake it for about 40 to 45 minutes. I would set my timer at 40 minutes, and if you realize it needs more, then you can do it for an extra 5 minutes. But once that is finished and you are removing this from the oven, your apple crisp should look a little bit like this. Some of the oats might still be dry, some of it might be look a little bit wet. But by this point, if your apples are soft, then your apple crisp is ready to go. Please place it on the countertop to cool for about 15 minutes. I absolutely like enjoying this recipe when it's nice and warm with some whipped cream or ice cream or whatever it is that you find in your home that you can enjoy with this apple crisp. This is a great recipe. Don't forget to share it with your friends or family members and let us know how you enjoyed your homemade apple crisp. Thank you all so much for cooking with us. We will see you next week.